Hi everyone, I'm Alan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to the Win Today Project. On this channel, Katie and I talk about getting healthy, building wealth, and finding happiness, all using systems and systems thinking. So we're really excited you joined us here today.
If that content sounds exciting to you, go ahead and smash the like button, give us a thumbs up, help us with that algorithm, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell so you can be notified every time that we post new content.
So today we're going to talk about losing weight. It's a common challenge that people run into. I know Katie and I both have had our issues with losing weight and keeping the weight off. For each of us, the secret to our success has been systems and systems thinking. This is part 2 of our discussion about routines. So we're going to get on the whiteboard and show you the 4 pillars, the 4 things that you need to do in order to lose weight, keep it off, and build those new routines that will help you do that.
Let's go to the whiteboard.
Hi, welcome to the whiteboard. So just a brief overview on why we're here. I went through my own personal rock bottom before I met Katie. Katie went through her own personal rock bottom. Both of them included a divorce before we got married to each other. But as I was going through my struggles, I leaned into the things that were successful in my life. Even though I was divorced and overweight and broke, I had a really good job where I saw business tools doing really great things at the job. So I decided to take those business tools and use them in my personal life. I really geek out on this stuff. I met Katie and we built this together, and we've been using her journey as an example. Katie, you want to catch them up if they hadn't seen the first video?
Oh yeah, so this is part 2. Part 1, we actually covered some struggles that I had specifically around weight loss and recognized that I was putting my emphasis and my focus in some places that weren't the most impactful, and therefore I was continuing to not see the results that I had wanted over and over and over again. And so if you are experiencing, whether you're talking about weight loss or you're thinking about any other type of goal, we want to apply this framework that we've been discussing in part 1. We're going to go even deeper in part 2 here to help you understand how you can apply maybe these challenges that you're facing, why you continue to have that same hurdle over and over and over again, and finally overcome them to achieve that success.
All right, so just like you would in any business, I mean, you're busy professionals, you guys know how this works, but you need a mission, you need a North Star, you need a why. So we came up with this simple idea. This is a timeline. The years of our life are across the bottom. For me personally, I started working when I was 16. It's about there. On average, I would retire at 65, which is about there. And for me, life expectancy in the U.S. as a black man, around 72 years old. So that's the amount of time I could expect for retirement. Or the freedom to choose what work I did, if I had to work at all, etc. So our vision for our life was pretty simple. We wanted to move this date, this freedom date, sooner. So how can we build wealth to get that date as early as possible? And we want to move this life expectancy date as far out into the future as we can. Not just the length of life, but the quality of life as well. So when we think about losing weight, we should think about it in the context of our overall vision. What are we trying to accomplish? We're really trying to push this life expectancy number and the quality of our life as long as possible, as far out as possible, so we can live as long and have a great life as long as we can. So when we think about losing weight, it's within that context, and that is one of our whys, one of our major whys, and what keeps us motivated and keeps us on track for that goal. All right, hi everyone. Now we're going to go over to pillar number 2, which is external systems, and this is a chance for me to geek out and talk about systems. All right, so just bear with us for a few seconds here. So systems are everywhere. They're all around us. The definition for a system is really simple. They are a series of interconnected parts whose interactions, when they work together, achieve a specific purpose or function, right? So a lot of things are systems. A tree is a system. The human body is a system. We're surrounded by and inundated by marketing systems. The reason why you are here watching this YouTube video is because of a system. So we're surrounded by systems. We interact with them every day. So the purpose of pillar number 2 is to understand what are the major external systems that are impacting on us whenever we're trying to achieve a specific goal or build a new routine, right? So back to the example that we were using earlier in the previous video, Katie's going to walk through the external systems that were impacting her as she was trying to achieve the goal of weight loss.
Right, so if you missed that video, we're going to go ahead and link it up here for you if you want to go back and watch this in greater detail. But for today's purpose, we're going to go pretty quickly through these. Weight loss is our goal, right? And we want to provide you with the necessary framework, whatever your main goal is that you're working at here. I like to ask myself the question, what else is going on in my life that may be contributing positively or negatively to this particular goal? So that really helps you get out of this idea of what's a system, am I thinking of the right system? Just simply ask yourself, what else is happening in my life right now relative to my goal? So over here, I had a very high stress job. Over on this side, I had a very active party girl social life.
Party girl.
What's that?
Party girl.
Yeah, I was a party girl. Over here, I had my food choices. And then over on this last bucket, I am going to write exercise. So how did each of these contribute positively or negatively to my overall goal of losing weight? Well, that high stress job, that was a big negative detractor. Party goal social life, while it might have seemed fun, was definitely, my marker stopped working, was definitely not contributing favorably to my goal of weight loss. Food choices, albeit some days were good, we're going to call that a small positive. It wasn't consistent. I was constantly trying to work through different types of diets, things of that nature. So a little bit of progress here, but not significant. And same thing on the exercise front. Joined a gym, tried to do some group fitness classes, very sporadic, not consistent. So again, a small net positive, but not enough to make those lasting, impactful, meaningful changes. My routines were not such that I was going to see this thrive.
And the purpose of this exercise is just to give us some sense of what else is going on in your life, how those external systems impacting you. I think Katie mentioned that she was dabbling with different diets and diet routines, and she was dabbling with different exercise and exercise routines. But the overwhelming impact on her weight loss was the party girl lifestyle and the high stress job. It's just an opportunity to identify the external systems that are working, which ones are having a bigger impact, and let's focus our efforts on the bigger impact ones first, and then the smaller impact ones later, which I know seems counterintuitive, but it'll make sense when we go into a deeper dive on part 3.
Moving into our third pillar here, current systems. So if we're thinking in terms of external systems, what we were playing with on this side of the board, this is kind of our 10,000 foot view. Now I want to get hyper specific. I've gotten my big picture. I understand why I've been unsuccessful because I've been focused on the wrong areas. They've not been able to make that significant impact. So we want to go to from a 10,000 foot view to maybe 100 foot view down here. So inside the current systems, Alan, in that circle on the left, can you go ahead and write social life for me?
Your handwriting is so much better.
It's what happens when you go to school to become a teacher. In the center, we're going to keep weight loss. And in the circle on the right-hand side, we're going to go ahead and we are going to put high stress job, or just, yeah, thank you. And now that we have identified a smaller scale of where we want to focus, Alan's going to walk us through some exercises that we can use to dig even deeper into what is happening in these spaces and why this is negatively impacting us. or me in particular.
So a simple question you can ask yourself, or if we could ask Katie, was, as you increase your social life, what was the impact on your weight loss? And I think we agree it was pretty negative. And what was also interesting is, as we focused in on, zeroed in on weight loss, it had a negative impact on her social life. And we do the same thing on a high-stress job. As she tried to focus in on weight loss, she's trying these diets, she's trying these cleanses. Now she's going to work hungry, and now she's hangry, and all those things. So as she focused on weight loss, the stress at the job actually went up. And as the stress of the job went up, the impact on her weight loss was also negative. Stress, eat, all those types of things, right? So this is an opportunity for us to get zeroed in on what's actually happening now, or at the time when you're wrestling with this. We have a couple different tools that we love to use. You can process map here. Get this off. We can do 5 whys. And what we're really trying to do is figure out what decisions that we're making and why are we making them. What beliefs are driving those decisions? Because once we identify the root causes, once we identify what's actually driving the decisions that you're making, we can start to take action, identify the actions that we need to take in order to build new routines. And so this is an opportunity for us to get really specific on, man, why am I making these decisions? Why am I doing this? Get zeroed in on that, and then that will allow us to focus on the actions that we need to take to build new routines. We have a limited amount of discipline, and we have a limited amount of motivation, and we have a limited amount of willpower. And we just want to make sure that we're delivering all of those resources into the right places, the root causes, not the symptoms, so we can do it once, figure it out, turn it into a habit, and we keep going. All right, so we're going to talk about new routines, but before we do, I forgot one thing. Social life and its impact on your weight loss, and weight loss and its impact on stressful job. They are not instantaneous. There are time delays, and we call these things feedback loops, but there are time delays, which means that it may take us some time to realize that these things are actually happening to us. Similarly, when we build new routines, it's going to take us some time to see the benefits from those new routines that we put in place. And it may take some time for those routines to actually be created, right? So we created an action list. Katie started taking action. Remember before, we were messing with the food choices and tweaking the exercises and the types of exercises that we were doing, but the weight loss goal was still elusive. But you ended up putting a bunch of new routines in place that took some time. Mm-hmm. So why don't you walk through those?
Yeah, so if we kind of just highlight a few of those categories, we went pretty deep through specifically the 5 whys for myself. There was a lot of belief systems that I had that were contributing to the fact that I needed this high stress job. I felt like I had to climb the corporate ladder, if you will. I felt like I had to be making, well over 6 figures to be considered successful. And those were things that, for whatever reason, I decided to put on myself. But I definitely didn't thrive in that environment. So number 1 for me was I changed jobs. And talking about, some time delays that were happening. I am currently a gym owner. I absolutely love the job that I have. I get to inspire and impact and encourage and motivate, everybody that comes through our doors, and that really lifts me up. But it took me a couple of years of trial and error and finding new business opportunities before I really landed in this space. So give yourself grace and recognize that you don't have to find your forever job. You just need to find what's next for you, and then work through these same processes and take this framework onto how to use this to your advantage as you work through your career and how that impacts whatever that goal is for you. next up, if we really look at the social side of things, I adjusted the focus of my social activities. So previously, social activities for me were almost exclusively involving a lot of adult beverages and a lot of junk food. Whether it was celebratory, it was, we need to go out because we had a great day, or we need to go out because we had a terrible day, or I need this, bottle of wine because I'm super stressed. And by adjusting the focus of what my actual social activities were, they started including things like going for a picnic in a park and enjoying the outdoors, or taking a dance class with my girlfriends, or going to a paint class, things of those activities that didn't involve heavily drinking, eating a bunch of junk food, and then that also kind of leads into the last big routine change that I made that made some pretty significant impact here. And that's just changing the frequency of certain activities, right? I'm not suggesting that we don't love to have a celebratory dinner with some cocktails when something goes really, really well, or it's a special occasion. I love holidays, and if you know anything about my family, we love to gather around a big kitchen island, and there is, a bunch of snacks and delicious food, and I love to cook and I love to feed people. So just adjusting the amount of times that that type of activity happened for me was a tremendous positive impact on my ultimate goal of weight loss.
I think one thing that we just want to make sure that everyone knows, like the keys to Katie's success were unique to her. The framework helped flush out all of this stuff that was happening. I remember one of our first conversations when we started dating was about her stressful job and the impact it had on her life, and hey, you should think about changing this thing as we kind of walk through this. So the beautiful part about all of this is that the answers to your questions you already have. We just try to bring it to the forefront through this framework here. So Katie already knew deep down in her soul that some of these changes had to happen. And for her to achieve the vision, going back to where we started, achieve the vision that she wanted for her life, to push that life expectancy and to push that quality of life further out and improve all that she needed to make these changes to her life. So
the moral of the story here is weight loss is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And for those people out there that are telling you that they can convince you to lose 20 pounds in 30 days or what have you, it's not sustainable. That does not help you build the routines that are going to make this a lifestyle change for you. And what we've provided you are all of the tools available to you so that you can achieve ultimate success. We used weight loss as the example because it's very real and relevant for a lot of us, and we've both kind of struggled with that from time to time. But this can be applied to any goal that you have so you can go out and achieve all the great things. In closing, thanks for joining us. This was a long one, but we hope that you found some really great nuggets of brilliance in here that you're going to apply to your own life. And again, don't forget to give us that thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to see content as we have it published, and we'll see you next time.
Nice.